Yeah, look, there's some things that I want to get off my chest. Obviously, I've had a little bit of time to think. Don't worry, I haven't hurt myself. The old noggin, she's fine. Obviously, I've had a little bit of time to myself. There's been a few questions that have sort of shown themselves throughout this lockdown and that I want answers to. Now, I could probably find these answers in Google. I could do a bit of research. Could also be the mysteries of the world. Because the more I think about them, the harder that they seem. And it just doesn't seem like a lot of them do have proper answers. Before we get into the fun of my brain, I'd like to just quickly say shout out to my boys at Noetic. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. They're doing great things with events in Geelong, and I just want to say thank you so much to Zach and Eamon. They're great blokes, so pop over to their IG and have a suss of what they're doing because they're really killing it. This guy digging to China or something. Where's he going? What's he doing? Can you hear that? Give up, bro. Whatever you're digging, it doesn't want to go through. Just quit. I guess one of the bigger questions that I have, I mean, given the current climate of the world, like literal climate, like not the whole like pandemic thing, like so windy today, and then like at extreme winds and like hurricanes and stuff, like what happens to the chickens? Where do they go? What do they do? Do you reckon they just get like ripped apart? Oh god, it's so windy. See, imagine being a chicken right now. Not good. It would be stressful. I mean, this is like 1/20th of what they're probably experiencing. I wonder if they even know. Do you reckon they get a bit of airtime? Because, I mean, obviously chickens, like, haven't got the ability to, like, fly. Do you reckon they're like, fuck, this is what it's supposed to be like? They probably have a moment of bliss before they get shredded apart by high-speed winds. I don't know, it's something that I wouldn't say worried about, but it's definitely a question that I have. Going off that whole, like, climate thing, so 37 degrees is like hot, right? Like it's warm. I think everyone can agree that it's like warm weather, hot weather. For me, that's like 25's amazing. Any more than like 28, I start getting a bit like stupid in the head. I don't do too well with heat. 36 degrees, like that's hot, but like that's your body temperature. So like, why isn't it perfect? It should be, theoretically, it should be perfect. What do they call it? Like equilibrium, even across the board. It should be fine, but like it's really hot. But that's your internal temperature. So like, why is it hot on the outside, but it's like not hot on the inside? You know? Flowers have like always really fascinated me too. Like I just think it's so cool that they can take the sunlight and create it into energy. Photosynthesis, pretty cool. Now I recently bought a Venus flytrap, and for those who don't know, it's like that little, like, it's like a snapping plant, and so it's open, and then when the flies come in, they're like lured in by the sweetness inside the Venus flytrap, and when the fly lands, it closes and then eats the fly. If it eats another animal, it's an animal. It's not a plant. If a plant can a reflex to shut over another bug or insect or something and have enough ability to digest it, it has to be an animal. If you can digest something else, you have to be an animal. You can't convince me otherwise. You cannot. It doesn't work like that. You can't be a plant and eat something. You can't. And speaking on digestion, what's the deal with cows? Seriously though, like what is the go with them? Like, why don't they have one stomach? For what reason do they need four? Massive design flaw, obviously, which is silly to me. Like, most people, or all people and animals have one, and apparently plants, it works for all of us fine. Why would they have 4 running at a quarter efficiency rather than 1 at full capacity? You know, it doesn't make sense to me. Just have one good one. It seems to work good for the rest of us. Also, without milk and stuff, they're not really good for anything. I guess they're the lawnmowers. They're like the natural lawnmowers of the world. Or like the one that I think about a lot. Like, most things have their own flavors, right? Like, grass, it has its own flavor. You know, if I lick a brick, it would probably have its own flavor. All types of, you know, lollies have flavors. What I want to know more than anything is, do different paints have different tastes? Now, hear me out on this one. If everything has its own flavor, colors surely have, like, the things that they need to make the colors, like the chemicals that they make colors with, would have their own flavors. Therefore, paints would have to taste different according to the colors that were put in to the paint, surely. So like a red paint would taste like slightly different to what a purple paint would taste like, because if a red paint had certain chemicals to make red, they would taste different to what a purple paint would taste. You know, like surely everything would have a slightly different flavour. I don't know. Over the last couple of weeks of quarantine, you know, I've been laying down a lot, I've been relaxing, I'm really been vertical a lot. I've been horizontal quite a bit, and I'm definitely taller. And I'm a lot longer than what I was at the start of quarantine. And I think that's just purely because I've been fucking around with gravity a lot. Now I know I've probably got a bit of an abstract way of thinking, but I mean, tell me I'm wrong with the way that I'm thinking. I don't think I'll be able to find these answers on Google. I just feel like these are mysteries of the world. Correct me if I'm wrong. Educate me. Jump in the comments, because these are literally the things that keep me up at night. I need help. I'm intrigued. Or maybe no one else thinks this way. It's probably only me, actually, but